Hello everyone, and in today's video I'm going to be explaining and showing you guys a breakdown of exactly how you can scale your Amazon FBA wholesale business from zero, the ground bare bottom, to 30K a month in revenue. Now, what we're going to do in this video is break down everything step by step. You see all these subcategories, but we're going to go in depth into all of them. I'm telling you guys, if you focus and watch this video, if you're at ground zero right now, you can change your life. I literally achieved this in under probably 50 days. We were doing 2K days within 75 days of starting from zero. Obviously there's, that time frame where you're already doing those 1 to 2K days and you were just at like $200 days on the rolling 30, so it doesn't technically count as 30K in a month, but you guys get the point. So by day 75, which I documented fully on my Instagram account, I was doing 2K a day in revenue, and I documented the whole journey from zero in 75 days. Imagine if you're able to do this within 75 days, which you can do, and that's exactly what I'm going to show you how to do. Now, this is not going to work unless you fully put your full focus and effort into this business, and you need capital to start. Let's get that out of the way. Now, let's get right into it. So, the whole consensus of Amazon FBA wholesale is you're just buying brand name products and selling them back on Amazon for a profit margin. As you can see right here, Bubble, this is a skincare brand, sells extremely well on Amazon. Nesquik, we all know Nesquik. Tide, we all know Tide. All we're doing is buying brand name products that already sell extremely well. Amazon does over $1 billion a day in sales, and we're just selling them at a profit margin. For example, we're buying a product for $6, selling it for $20. After all the fees, we'll get back maybe $11, and we'll make the $5 profit, and then just repeat that process, rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat. You do not need to run any ads at all for this business. You do not need to, create creatives. All you have to do is get the product at a price that's profitable for you to sell it and make your percentage and make your ROI on that investment, and just simply repeat the process. There's tons and tons of different listings you can sell on, so let's get into it. Scaling to 30K a month with Amazon. So right here, the first things first is we have to identify our focus. There's OA, RA, and wholesale. So OA is online arbitrage. We're going to websites like Nike, Kohl's, Adidas, some people like to use iHerb, VitaPro, stuff like that, or VitaCost, my bad, and just buy products and sell them back onto Amazon. Now, I never actually did this. I mean, I did a bit of it here and there. My friend would send me a link and I would be like, okay, let me just test it out. But I quickly realized this isn't something that I want to do, and I'm not willing to invest my time into doing this because it's just arbitration. We're simply just buying products from websites, using discounts, using Rakuten, using, all these different methods to get our margin as high as possible, but it's not as, real of a business, in my opinion, as wholesale, because you're just going to sites where anyone can access, anyone can buy these products. You're usually fighting for, trying to figure out if it's going to sell out, and then you get all these orders, and then you get emails where all the orders got canceled, and it's just a big headache. A lot of people are successful with online arbitrage, don't get me wrong, but me personally, I do not recommend going down this route, and I wouldn't do it if I was you. You can try it out if you want to in the beginning phases just to see how things work. That's not a bad idea, but long term, this isn't a sustainable business in my personal opinion. Now, RA, I've done RA in the beginning. This is kind of how everyone really starts. You're just going into stores, finding profitable products. Maybe you're going into Ross, TJ Maxx, Sam's Club, Costco, and you're finding products that are profitable, and you're just buying them, sending them into Amazon, or maybe you're even doing FBM, where you're shipping it directly to the customer. FBM stands for Fulfilled by Merchant. FBA stands for Fulfilled by Amazon. FBM, Fulfilled by Merchant, you're sending it from your house, from your possession, directly to the customer. FBA is you sending the products directly to Amazon, where they then send the product to the customer once that customer places the order. That's literally FBM versus FBA in a simplified version, and that's all it is. Now, RA can work for you. I've made it work for myself in the beginning, but it's just not scalable in my opinion, and it's just not sustainable in my opinion. OA and RA will help you make money on the side as like a side hustle, but don't try, you can build a business out of it, but don't expect it to be this, huge business that you're going to continue to do. It's going to get harder and harder to be profitable, and there's not much competitive edge that you can have in these fields because everyone has access to them. So next, and the last option, we're not going to get into private label, is wholesale. Now, wholesale is the number one, focus point that I recommend for everyone. The reason being is because there's a barrier to entry that's much higher. There's minimum order quantities that you have to place with the suppliers. It's not easy to just open accounts with these suppliers and get access to the products. It's not easy to, negotiate pricing, be spending so much a month on product where you're able to actually negotiate pricing with the suppliers and get your pricing down lower. You're able to place orders with these suppliers for tens of thousands of units and not worry about things getting canceled. You're able to go to these suppliers and request certain products, specific products that are already selling well on Amazon that you just want access to. You just go to your sales rep and say, hey, I'll come with this amount of capital I can invest if you can source this product for me. You can't do that with OA or RA. The point being is that the barrier to entry of wholesale is much higher, but the return on investment and reward for you putting in the effort and getting past that initial phase is extremely, extremely high, because you're going to be getting around, all these different suppliers, have access to all these different suppliers if you put the work in. And once you have access to even 1, 2, or 3 suppliers, like even if you have access to 3 suppliers, you can build $1 million a month business. A month. I literally have 3 suppliers that I can't even spend enough capital with because there's just so much opportunity, so many leads. And the products are just already profitable. I don't have to, let me do Rakuten, let me do credit card points, farm that BS. No, none of that. It's profitable, buy it, sell it, buy it, sell it, so on and so forth. That's how it works. Wholesale is the number one recommendation that I would give you. We're not talking about private label, but out of these 3, this is what the whole video is going to be about. Wholesale is the key. So now that we understand that, now that I've kind of broken down what the business actually is, you now have to make a decision. Do you want to do wholesale, or is it something that you would be interested in? If so, then keep watching. If not, then don't. So next, capital analyzation. So with wholesale, we're not going to be talking about OA or RA anymore ever again, thankfully. With wholesale and capital analyzation, you have to see how much capital that you have and that you're willing to invest. If you have $1,000 to invest with wholesale, likely it's going to be extremely hard for you to scale up. That's just me being completely honest. If you have 2K to use, then it's obviously better than 1K. But the sweet spot, I would always say, and you could get away with starting out with 3K, but I would always say 5K is a good amount to start off with. And even that, once you get into the game, once you have access to these distributors and suppliers and you start to see the opportunity, you're going to quickly realize that you're going to have an abundance of leads and not enough capital. If you're in this position, you're winning completely, because this is a position that many people wish that they were in, which I'm in that right now. You have to have so many profitable leads to where if every single product in your store died, you would be able to replenish it multiple times over and over and over again with new products. That's how this business works. You're going to have 5, 10K to start out with, but there's people placing 300K purchase orders, and you're going to go to your distributor's website or supplier's website, and you're going to see all these different opportunities, hundreds and hundreds of opportunities if you know what you're doing and do it correctly. And you're going to look and you're going to say, well, I only have 5K. All this 5K can diversify me between these 5 different products, but I still have 100 more that I could sell on my store. So now you're in that position where it's like, okay, I have all this opportunity. I can't even make the money on these products because I need more capital. And that's where we get into scaling up and figuring out how to get funding, figuring out how to leverage debt, so on and so forth. But we're not going to get into that right now. So analyze your capital. I would say 5K is a good amount to start with. If not, figure out a way. If you don't have that, figure out a way to come up with that amount of money. Maybe you need to do some door-to-door sales. Go get the 5K. Work hard. Ask someone, if they want to go in on the business with you in the beginning. Maybe ask, that varies depending on who it is, but figure out a way to get the 5K. I mean, it's not that hard. If you really want to start this business and you really need to start this business and you're very interested in it, you'll find a way to get the 5K. Plain and simple. So 5K wholesale initial, like I just said. So now we get into capital diversification and understanding and learning cash flow. This is more advanced, but as far as the diversification phase, because we're only going to talk about getting to 30K a month in this video, a mistake that I made is that I wasn't always super diversified, which went against me multiple times and worked out in my favor multiple times. So there's this product that I bought almost 1,000 units of, and it was selling for $20. I mean, the margin was absolutely insane. I was selling a few units here and there. It was viral on social media, so I'm like, yes, this is the one. It was selling so many times a month. Everything looked perfectly good. Like, everything checked off. So I'm like, yeah, we're buying a pallet of this. I buy the pallet, I get it in, I'm selling through units. Price is still stable, but we're not selling through tons of units because I wasn't winning the buy box extremely well. Since this product was priced so high and wasn't priced basically accurately, it was kind of like price gouging whoever was buying it. Immediately when someone would, drop the price on that listing, everyone would just start undercutting terribly hard. So after a while, it started to tank, and now it's extremely tank. So I have all the units still, but it's whatever. We learn and we grow. So that's like $7,000 down the drain, but we'll figure out a way to liquidate it. But that's the point, is you can't just, expect every product to work out in your favor and expect everything to go your way. Realistically, a lot of the time, products are going to go your way, but there is that odd percentage where a product tanks in price, even though all the data looked good, even though everything looked good, things just happen. So that's how it works. Don't put all your eggs in one basket. If you have 5K, diversify between 10 different products with that 5K, 500, 500, 500, 500. You get the point. Or even, $1,000 in 5 different products. Because if you invest all your capital into one product and then that product doesn't hold at its value that you thought it was, or it decreases in price, or the listing tanks, or the sales decrease, your whole business is reliant on that one product. So you're out of business technically, because you won't have any more capital. And then you're like, yeah, what am I going to do now? All my capital is tied up here, so I can't even buy more product to sell because I don't have the capital for that. This is what you guys have to realize. And once you get past this, then you'll figure out how to, make better buying decisions, so on and so forth. In the beginning, if you avoid this, then you'll be good most of the time. Like, this is a very, very simple and easy business model, in my opinion. It's not hard at all. As you guys know, I come from a background of trading options for 6 years. So compared to options, this is so easy. If you're able to avoid the easiest things that I'm explaining, then you will be profitable, and profitable quickly. So understand and learn cash flow. Now, to get to 30K a month, honestly, you can get there so quickly if you just invest the capital that's required, which is like 15 to 20K into inventory, will generate you probably 30K in revenue. Cash flow, we're not going to get too deep into that in this video because this is more advanced once you have a lot more, sales, and like probably more around the 60K a month mark. 30K a month, you're able to do that pretty easily. So next, creating supplier accounts. Now, this is something that people are always DMing me and asking me about. How do you get access to these suppliers? How are you working with these suppliers? What is it that I need to do to basically blah, 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 blah? All you have to do to get access to suppliers is number one, you need a reseller certificate and an EIN, because no supplier that's actually legit is just going to sell a product to you. You need this. I mean, if you don't have this, then don't expect to, ever open any accounts, because it's literally a requirement, like literally. So you need these two things. And as far as outreaching, you cold call, you Google research, and you do local. Now, I would always say start out with local, even though they're probably not going to be the highest quality supplier ever and the best supplier ever. Just start out local, so that way you understand, okay, this is how a company like this works. I need to open an account. I need to get a sales rep. I need to talk to this person. I need to look through their catalog. I need to figure out what exact profit per unit I'm going to have. I need to see my ROI. I need to see how much they require me to invest for a minimum order quantity to start out. I need to see what it is that their shipping process is like. I need to figure out what my receiving process is like. All of these different factors matter. So if you start out by just talking to a supplier that's across the country, or that's going to ship to you LTL, and you don't even have a warehouse, and you get the pallet delivered and they don't even have a lift gate, and then you're like, they can't even get the pallet down, then you're screwed. So you have to be able to understand how the business works, and the best way to do that is starting out locally, because you're able to get everything pretty much understood pretty quickly, because they're right there. You could literally drive to their warehouse if they're in your area, because they're local. So once you get out of that local phase, I mean, you can build a good relationship with local suppliers. I know people who work with local suppliers that have huge businesses. It's all about leveraging relationships and creating those strong relationships. That's all that the wholesale business model is about. Once you have these connects, you're able to call up your supplier, call up your sales rep, and say, I need this at this price. I can send you this amount of money, and they'll get it for you. They'll put in the work to get you the product if you have the money and they know that you're a good customer. And this business model becomes super easy after you get through that hard phase. You're rolling the ball up the hill for a while, and then once you have, boom, access to suppliers, boom, strong relationships, boom, the amount of capital that you need to understand the business fully, all these things, X, Y, Z, then you push the ball and it goes straight down the hill. And that's how you see people doing $500K a month super quickly. It's not that difficult. It's literally a plug and play business model. So after that, cold calling is just a part of the whole business. You're going to need to cold call the local distributors, online distributors across the country, even cold call all these companies, even if you're not going to work with them, to figure out more about the business. That's how the game works. If you're not willing to call, if you're shy and you're not going to talk to people, you will not make it in this business. Like, this business is so easy. So if you're not willing to do these little steps, cold call, talk to people on the phone, oh, I'm scared to call, blah, 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 don't expect to make money. In any business, except for trading, even still in trading, you have to be able to speak to people. You have to learn how to speak. You have to be, outgoing. You can't be some shy person. Oh, hello, I work with this company. We want to buy some products for our store. No, declined. We don't want to work with you. These distribution companies and these suppliers bringing you into their business as a customer doesn't do them any service, and they don't need you as a customer. You have to understand that. Unless you're spending 6 figures a month, it's not really going to help them. And you're not going to be spending 6 figures a month. You're going to be spending $5K maybe, or $3K, or $2K, or $6K, $10K, whatever it is, which doesn't change their business in any measurable way. They have people spending way more than you, so they do not need you, so they do not care. So you have to make them understand that you are going to provide value, and you're going to be a good customer, and you're going to focus on helping them as well. It's not just all about you in this business. It's a relationship-based business. So keep this key in mind when you're trying to find distributors and suppliers, is they don't need you. They likely don't even want to work with you because it causes them more headaches. So figure out why they should work with you. And it might be as simple as you being an outgoing person who is actually on it, who actually follows up, who actually calls consistently, who actually speaks with conviction. These are the things that separate the people who are doing 100K a month from the people that are doing 500K a month. This is it. So last thing is Google research. Now, same thing. You're just going to look up grocery distributor in North Carolina, beauty distributor in Florida, beauty distributor in New Jersey. You know, you might even say specific brands like Bubble Skincare Distributor, New York. This is how simple it is. And then you just start calling, going through catalogs, learning all this stuff. Now, I'm not going to get into all the intricacies of how you look through catalogs and everything like that in this video, but there's certain ways, certain things that you can do to speed up this exact process now. Okay, so sourcing product, 100 plus sales a month minimum unless high profit or ROI. So I like to stick to a rule book and certain set amount of profit per unit whenever I'm running a store. The reason why is because if you start buying products recklessly, which I've done before, oh, it's a gross profit of this, blah, 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 let me just buy it, send it in, all this stuff, and it looks like it's profitable, but it's really not, that's where you screw your business over. Now, if you're just buying products because there's profit of any amount, then you're not inside and understanding your business properly, because there's shipping costs, there's storage fees, there's all these different fees with Amazon. So you have to figure out, is this product going to net me this much per month? So make a minimum net profit per unit, per listing, per ASIN. Meaning, okay, I'm going to sell this soap, right? And it's $1 in net profit per unit. My minimum requirement for me to sell a product, we'll just say as an example, is $200 per month. I need to make $200 in net profit per month from this listing in order for it to meet my requirements of selling this product. That means I would have to sell 200 units at $1 net profit per unit. And if that listing only sells 100 plus times a month, then it's not going to net you that profit more than likely, because the listing is going to be shared between multiple different sellers. Now, if the profit margin, the net profit is, $5 per unit, and the listing sells 100 plus times a month, then if you sell 20 units, if you sell 40 units, then you're making that $200 in net profit per month. So then it checks out. And the same thing goes with figuring out if something sells 50 plus times a month, but it makes you $25 in net profit, all you have to do is sell 8 of them to make the $200 in net profit, which there are a lot of listings like that. There's listings like that I sell on, and this is a huge gem, is that there's a lot of listings that barely sell, like 50 times a month, 30 times a month, and the profit margin is so high, and people just ignore them for no reason, when they literally perform more than likely at the same level as a lot of these other bigger listings do. You just have to put in the work. It's literally that simple. There's literally so many listings on Amazon for you to take advantage of that you'll never be able to say. You'll never be able to tell yourself, okay, that's it. The business has reached its cap. Good luck ever saying that with this. So calculate to reach goal exactly how I explained. Now, if you want to make, $30K a month in sales, all you have to do is divide the amount of sales that you want by the units and by your average, sale price. So let's just say your average sale price is $30. You need to sell 1,000 units in a month, which means don't just say I'm going to order 1,000 units in a month. Maybe you need to order 2,000 units to make your chances higher. And also, what you have to do is make sure you're sending in the units so that they'll actually sell. Make sure you're getting on listings where it's actually possible for this to happen. If you guys haven't watched my previous video, on this channel I make videos speaking about business, speaking about how you can create success, all these different things that you can just apply to the videos that I make about the actual business model itself and create success. It's literally that easy. My whole channel is a complete playbook, and I'm only saying this because if you go back to the previous video that I just posted, you'll understand a detailed point that I made in the video where I'm talking about realistically achieving something and making it unrealistic to not achieve it. If you make it unrealistic to not achieve, these numbers with the effort that you put in, meaning the amount of units that you buy, the amount of units that you send in, the amount of money that you spend, the research that you've done, the data that you've analyzed, then it's literally impossible for you to not reach 30K a month if you simply do that. That's how simple it is. So watch that previous video as well. Now, if your average sale price is $10, then you just need to sell 3,000 units in a month. And if you're selling 3,000 units in a month and your net profit is $3 on average, then you're making 9K net profit a month. Guys, this business is super, super simple, and I'm only making this video, taking time out of my day to show you guys exactly how to do it. So I hope that you take the action. I have nothing to sell. The only thing that I'm going to show you in this video is a software that I use personally at the end of the video that is actually going to help your business tremendously and actually going to make you a ton of money if you use it. And I've used this software before I was even an affiliate for them, because I know it works. It's helped me make a ton of money, and it can help you do the same. So let's get to the next. So sourcing product, test phase, initial. So in the beginning, if a product sells 500 plus times a month, that does not mean that you're going to sell 500 units in a month. You have to divide the number of sales, estimated sales per month, by the amount of competitive sellers, and then figure out, okay, I'm going to make this many sales estimated per month. If there's 1,000 sales in a month and there's 5 competitive sellers, we can estimate that if the buy box rotation, buy box meaning the person who has the buy boxes, the add to cart, buy it now person, when you go to buy something on Amazon, it will say their name. If you are one of those 5 competitive sellers and there's 1,000 plus sales a month, we'll just say 1,000, then you can expect to get 200 sales in that month. So maybe order 100 units just in case. You don't have to go all in expecting, ordering 3 months worth of inventory when you likely will just spend too much and get stuck with inventory. This is another reason why I talked about diversification. If you're just buying product and you're just saying, okay, 3 months worth, boom, how are you going to reinvest once it doesn't sell? Your business is going to slow down a ton. And this is another thing about the cash flow phase, is we're not going to get too deep into that because I'm already kind of getting into more advanced things, but it usually takes a few months for your entire cash flow cycle to turn back around and over, and you only get paid once every 2 weeks in the beginning when you're selling on Amazon. So this is one of the most difficult things that most sellers come up with, is because smaller sellers and people with not as much capital, they have a difficult time being able to overcome this initial phase just simply because of that. And that's why having a ton of capital is a big competitive edge in this business, I won't lie. And that's just how the game works. Like in most things, like if you have more capital, that's a big, big competitive edge. If you have more information, that's a big, big competitive edge. If you have both, then that's a huge competitive edge. If you have access to these suppliers and distributors, then it's an even bigger competitive edge. So figure out how you can have more of a competitive edge and just act upon that. So in the test phase, in the initial phase, don't spend all your money and buy 3 months worth of inventory. I would say buy 1 month worth of inventory, 1 month worth of inventory, and 2 months maximum if it's like a closeout deal, meaning this is the last time they're going to sell the product. Once it sells out, it's never going to be in stock again, and everything looks so good and the ROI is so good, blah, blah, blah. You guys get the point. So yeah. Test phase, initial, boom. Analyze desired profit per unit. You guys already know that. So figure out what you're comfortable with making per unit. Figure out the profit per unit and analyze that and figure out what works for your business, what works best for you. Some products are going to be extremely high profit and some products are going to be extremely low profit. From what I've seen, the listings that sell a lot more are usually lower profit margin but higher sales velocity. And when you see lower sales velocity, it's usually, or in some cases, higher profit per unit. So that's just how it works. Wide over deep, this is just going back to the diversification phase. Go wide, meaning diversify within multiple different products instead of going deep into one product. And then break that down. So you guys already got the breakdown. So next, sending to Amazon. So this is just shipping products into Amazon. It is not difficult. I understand why most of you guys probably see it, because when I literally seen it in the first place and I was watching YouTube videos trying to understand the business, I was like, why is this so complicated? I was like, yeah, this is too crazy. Most of the time, everything looks like so complicated. How do I do this? Amazon seller dashboard. It looks so crazy. How am I going to understand this? How am I going to learn this? You will learn it. If you get past that, you'll be past 99% of people. Even me, when I first seen it on YouTube, I was like, yeah, this is way too complicated. But I figured it out because, we're that 1% type shit. But anyways, sending to Amazon. Workflow trenches. You have to understand your workflow. You have to understand LTL, figuring out how you're going to do SPD, figuring out how you're going to ship these units out. Are you going to have UPS come to your house, pick up all the boxes? Are you going to go to your post office? Are you going to go to UPS? Figure out how to, manage your store, how to measure the boxes, put the weight, go through the send to Amazon workflow, which is pretty simple, and there's literally a guide on their site. So do that, and then move ASAP, meaning don't get inventory in and wait, because I've done this before. I'm not even going to lie. And I still sometimes do this, where I'll get tons of inventory and I'll be like, okay, let me just chill because I don't need to do it right away, blah, blah, blah. But always, always, always move ASAP. Always, once you get the inventory in, get it ready to get it out as soon as possible. The more you do this, the better chances that you'll have of making sales faster. And you never want your store to basically be out of stock on product, and then once it's out of stock on product, then you say, okay, time to send in. If you wait for your products to be out of stock before you send more product in, there's going to be probably a 14-day period of you sending in your inventory to Amazon, actually longer than that most likely. And then that whole listing, you're going to get no sales for that whole entire time frame. So once you have like 30% of your inventory left and can estimate that it's going to sell out within the next few days, then you send in the inventory, and make sure you send it in, at a good time. This comes to another more advanced thing, is figuring out, when inventory flow should be going back in, how to reorder, how to restock, all these different things. Like, this is a serious business. There's a lot of different things that you have to learn, have to know how to do, a lot of things that you're going to have to improve on and get better at over time. There's so many different things to improve on, and obviously a lot further down the line, even with me and what I'm going to do, is delegating. But before you delegate, you have to fully understand it for yourself and be able to do it for yourself and have done it for yourself. So next, move ASAP. We got that done. And then software. So now this is the final part, and this is exactly what I was talking about. Now, I am an affiliate for Smart Scout, but like I've said, I've used Smart Scout's software before I was an affiliate, and this is one of the best softwares. In my opinion, it is the best software for Amazon in general at all, and destroys any other software. So the only reason I'm telling you guys I'm an affiliate is because I'm not selling anything at all, but I will have an affiliate code for you guys to get a very, very great discount, on Smart Scout in the link below. And I get like a percentage of that, but you guys get a discount as well. So what Smart Scout is it's basically a software that shows you everything, detailed intricacies, has a seller map where you can look at all these different sellers, all their storefronts, basically steal their products, to be honest, find distributors, look for the highest, sales locations across the entire country, all these different things. Smart Scout has so many different features to offer you, and it will help you find distributors. It will help you find better brands to reach out to your distributors and sales reps for. It'll help you find the biggest sellers in your area. It'll help you find exact products in stores to replicate, to literally just copy them and make all the money that they're making if you're able to find the products as well. It has brand features. It has all these different tools. So Smart Scout is a big recommendation from me. Once again, if you want a big discount, you can click the link down below in the description and get whatever percentage off it is, and then you'll be able to start using Smart Scout as soon as possible. It also has like the sales estimator and everything. They added a new tool for your web browser, an extension where it shows you the estimated monthly sales, monthly revenue, so that way you can actually calculate, you know, like how I'm talking about, if this product sells this many times a month, blah blah blah. So Smart Scout has all of that. Now, SellerAmp, this is just a software that pretty much everyone has used, to be honest, and it's just, you can scan products, you can figure out how many times a product sells a month, you can look at the buy box distribution and everything like that, and that's really the main thing. SellerAmp is like calculating the amount of estimated sales. There's a lot of different things that you can do, which I don't really use. I mainly just use it to look at the amount of sales that come in on a listing and like all the different sellers, all the different pricings, who's selling FBA versus FBM, looking through all of that, which is very, very valuable. So, and the last software that I don't have on here is Keepa, which is just going to show you a graph of all the time frame of basically the sellers, the previous price history, the amount of sellers, which there is that is on SellerAmp as well, but you can get like a more intricate version with Keepa itself. So Keepa, Smart Scout, SellerAmp, these are the main softwares. Now we're at 36 minutes in this video, so much game and value has been dropped. And what I'm going to leave you guys with is, if you're watching till the end, there's a highly likely chance that you're actually going to act upon this. Most people probably have already clicked off by now, but if you've watched this video until the end and you're saying to yourself, I am ready to start from zero and just go all in on this business because I see that this can work for me. Or if you already have a business, an Amazon business that might not be of scale, or maybe even you want to get past 30K a month, and you have any questions, you can just comment them down below. I'm going to start to make a lot more content going in depth about Amazon and showing you guys how to run this business and how you can capitalize off of it. This is a business model that a lot of people aren't talking about, and it's very, very unsaturated in my opinion. A lot of people might say otherwise because they don't have the access or know deep into the business like I do, like I've seen, like I'm seeing now. People only think that it's saturated because they don't have the distributors, they don't have the suppliers. I'm starting a partnered store with a few of my friends, and we're just going to scale that up a ton, and you guys are going to see the whole process. There's so much opportunity if you just put the work in. It's like there's literally diamonds and gold waiting to be dug up if you follow this process that I showed you and you put in the work. So as always, I wish you guys the best, and subscribe if you want to see more. Best of luck.